Good morning. It's day 3 on Salpapolku. This is where I was camping last night. I had already undone my tent, but here are my gear. And the lake you saw in the last video is down there. I would have rather camped by the lake because it's slightly more windy down there and hence there are no mosquitoes. But the only good tent spots were up here, so I needed to be here in the woods where there are mosquitoes. That's why I'm wearing the hood again. There has been some slight rain showers throughout the morning and there might be more during the day. I hope it won't be very rainy, but time will tell. I have really got to hike alone during these days. The only people on the trail I've seen so far are the 2 Estonians who were car camping at the same place where I was camping on the first night, but I've seen no one hiking the trail. Of course I've seen some local people going around, but no one else. Just me. Here comes the first bunker of the day. This is a dugout that is to accommodate 40 men. So it should be quite large. Mosquitoes are following me once again. Here's once again this small chamber with rebar sticking from the roof. I don't know if you have paid attention, but these doors are kind of small, so you always have to squeeze yourself in. Next chamber, there's some paint on the walls. And once again, rebar. Luckily, I'm a short person, so I won't hit my head anywhere. And the paint is chipping. This seems to be pretty similar to the many that I've already been into. The only difference is the paint on the walls. And a nice little bridge crossing in here. And you're not allowed to go if you weigh more than 3 metric tons. But I think most of us don't have that kind of problem. Off from the road and back to the woods. I met a local guy a while ago while I was walking on a gravel road. I passed his house and he came to talk to me. He told me that it's his childhood house and he was living a while in Helsinki, but now he's back there again, and talked a little bit about the trail, and he also said that he's hiked the trail, and he told me that the military people are hiking the trail every year. And he told me that every once in a while he sees hikers, but maybe I'm a little bit early in the season here, so maybe that's why I haven't met anyone. But there are still hikers who do this trail, and I think it's well worth doing because this is a very unique trail with all the bunkers and everything. Really a piece of history. Once again, I'm here in the middle of these anti-tank obstacles. And here seems to be a bridge that is in a great condition. Hopefully I won't fall through. Along the trail there is a rock quarry where I think these rocks came from. And it must have been quite a work to haul all of these rocks in here. But now they kind of become a part of the landscape when the moss starts to grow on them, and part of these rocks are on people's backyards and they have their flowers planted between them and they're just part of their backyards. Okay, I'm on my way to the next bunkers and I had to put my rain kilt on. There is only a light drizzle, but now I'm going to be bushwhacking through here. And in order to not have all my gear wet, it's nicer to have some rain gear on. So this is what I mean when I say that this trail is not the very well maintained one, and that there is some bushwhacking to do. I kind of wish that they would take a better care of this trail because it's very unique and it isn't that long of a trail that it would be horrible workload to just take care of these bushes. Somewhere in here is the next bunker. Once that I find it, yes, here is a doorway. Okay, let's go in and see. What do we have here? Something dripping from the ceiling. Now we go downstairs. There's kind of moldy stench in here. Here is a shooting chamber. And a ladder and rebar sticking from the wall. There's a little bit of water in here and a hatch and a sign saying, I guess, do not climb. Okay. A little rust in the ceiling. This is a bit more mazy. I think these are the 2 chambers, yes, to accommodate 20 men. These rebar hooks once again. And the next bunker. And tons of mosquitoes in here. ground is a little bit muddy. Okay, now I got my head torch on. Oh, there is some new technology in here. And mats on the floor? Well, this is strange. Oh, this looks like... Let's see if we can get some light. No light. Okay, the power must not be on, but here is a chair and desk. That was my light flickering. And some bunks. I think someone is refurbishing this place. And here are ladders going up to that shooting place. Let's see. Now here is where you shoot from. And that's where I came from. This is something that I find a little bit funny about the trail markings in here, that the side trails are not different from the actual trail. So this is a side trail that's leading to Jermula, where there is a tent site and everything, and you can see there is that blue post. And this is the actual trail, which has the same blue blazes on the trees and similar kind of a post there. I don't know if you can see it yet. Right there next to that pine tree. So I think this is not the best way to mark the trail, although here is a way sign saying that which way is the side trail and which is not, but still I think the side trails could be different from the actual trail. This is something different comparing to those concrete bunkers, for this is a ball form dugout. And there is this trench I guess I need to go through. Oh, it's right here. Let me shed you some light. This is quite small and heavy. There's some modern lighting system in here. So there is place to sleep for, I think it said about 8 to 10 men. Let's follow this trench to see where this goes. It just goes on and on and on and on. But I'm gonna go up there. That's where the trail goes. I'm arriving to the Salpapolku Museum. There are all kinds of artifacts already here in the forest. And I think this is part of the museum area. But at the moment, I'm actually more interested about the cafeteria at the museum, because I would like to have some lunch there. Food is always important. once again, it's bunker time. This looks a little bit different from the ones I've been earlier. There is no concrete floor in here, so this is just the ground. And here is a very strange window, different from the other ones I've seen. Oh, there are these kind of shields that you can fold to cover the window. That's convenient. But let's go inside. To the dark side we go. Ugh. A little bit climbing to get in here. I don't know what it is. Something yellowy and whitey goo on the floor. I think it's dripping from the ceiling. I don't know what it is, and maybe I don't want to. Here is something. A shooting chamber, I think. Excuse me for that. And because there is no concrete floor in here, the doorways are pretty high. So that's why the awkward filming, I'm sorry. Once again, a shooting hatch. It says do not climb, but actually you could climb in there. But maybe I do as I'm told. And then to the other side. There is a small chamber, lots of condensation in the ceiling, and these strange hooks. Oh, I think there has been a pipe and it has fallen down and someone has taken it away. And then there is this larger chamber that you see in other places too. I think this is a kind of a place that they have left this kind of unfinished. And here is some kind of a hatch that goes way down. I don't know if this is a toilet. There is water in the bottom. The sign is saying that there is a danger of falling, that you're moving your own risk. And perhaps this is what it means. There are these quite deep trenches going around. And guess what? A bunker. And in I go. Let's get some light. Ooh. Almost stepped into a hole. Have to be careful in here. There's actually some piece of wood on the floor also. And good old rebar sticking from the roof. Here is some teeny tiny room. I don't know what it is for. And then, this is different. Let's see. Here is a small chamber with one ladder going nowhere. And then there is another small room that leads to a ladder, no floor, and a hatch, and some daylight. As usual, yes, there is a larger chamber. And a bench. Whoa, my light starts to flicker. I'm out of batteries soon. There are actually quite a lot of these surprisingly big rock walls in here, which would have quite a good climbing potential, especially that we don't have that many climbing places in Finland. But for some reason, they are not in use. I know that some places there are kind of nature preservation, and that's why you are not allowed to climb, because you are not allowed to clean the moss off the rock walls. But I think there could be lots of places where you could actually do traditional climbing. Okay, I know I'm standing in a gutter, but there are tons of tadpoles in there, and they're so cute and teeny and tiny. Look how they swim! Yay! This is where I initially planned to stay tonight, but actually I'm going to continue for a little bit in order to avoid hiking in rain tomorrow. There is a swimming place in here, though the water isn't as nice and clear as it was in the place where I stayed last night. Here is also a reservable wilderness hut and a sauna in here, but I think it costs something to reserve it. But I'm going to hike on. Oh, there's a trail lock. Let's ride me in. I don't know if I'm the first hiker of the season. There's someone who has been biking here, and well, they say they were hiking. They don't say if they were true hiking. Geocaching, these were canoeing. And what else? These were tenting in here. These were biking. Then there are some Russians. Yeah, not a lot of people. So last people who has at least ridden in the log was like 3 days ago. There are not really that many views at Salpapolku. But here is one. Mainly for this forest has been clear cut. I'm not actually a fan of that method, but this time it helps me to enjoy this view. The reason why I'm not a fan of clear cutting forests, well, one reason is that it's unsightful. It doesn't look beautiful, and the other reason is that I don't think it's a good way of taking care of the forest. When you are clear cutting, that means that the first species that are going to take over are all kinds of weeds, and then the nature comes more kind of monochrome, because there are only weeds and all those things growing, and they don't leave any space for other species anymore. So it kind of shrinks down the variety in nature when you clear cut a forest. Now this looks pretty interesting, though I don't want to fall in. Somehow that thing down there reminds me of Mahoosuc Notch on the Appalachian Trail. Perhaps I can link the video of that place in the description of this one, for those of you who are not familiar with the most difficult mile of the AT. Now here are the views that I was complaining about that they are lacking from Salpapolku. I was standing above that hill a while ago, and now there is a nice view with me from this ledge. And some boulders down there. Seems like someone in here has got rid of their hiking boots in a very traditional way. Here seems to be a shelter that is not on my map. I don't know if this is someone's like private shelter, possibly. But I'm gonna keep on going. I think I'm going to be following this gravel road for a while now. There's a completely white dog who is looking at me through the woods right there. That was quite a while walking along the gravel road. Easy hiking though. But I think it's time to call it a day, because I just arrived to Takamaa shelter, and I kind of like the name because Takamaa translates directly to backcountry. This is right next to the road, but I don't think this is a very busy road. I haven't seen anyone. So I don't think anyone will be causing any trouble in here. Here is a shelter for sleeping. And then there is lots of firewood. There should be a privy also. And I try to find if there are good spots for tenting, because I would rather... Oh, there's a privy behind those trees. You maybe can't see it. Yeah, I would prefer tenting, because if there are mosquitoes, they leave me alone in my tent.